Hey everybody, Jeremy here, continuing with the Marvel Legends What If series of reviews. Today I got Zombie Hunter Spidey. I'm going to be taking a look at him. Also did a couple more reviews since this one is being recorded for Captain Carter and T'Challa Star-Lord. So if you want to see those too, I'm going to leave a link in the description, 2 links, so that you can check those out. So once again, this is from the Disney Plus series Marvel What If. Highly recommended. All the episodes are out so you can binge watch them at your leisure. Take 6 figures to build the Build-A-Figure, which is the Watcher. I've got 3. Got 3 more to go, which is Doctor Strange Supreme, Heist Nebula, and Sylvie. So whenever I see those things somewhere and I pick them up, I'll be able to complete the Watcher, and everything will be good with the world. All right, so that's it with the intro. Spider-Man is a favorite of mine, so let's check him out. So, Zombie Hunter Spider-Man. You know, if you've seen the episode of What If with all the zombies and stuff, you might be like me and find yourself wondering, why exactly do they call him Zombie Hunter Spider-Man? Because it wasn't much of a zombie hunter in the episode, but whatever, I guess that's neither here nor there. But the most interesting, the most unique thing about this figure in particular is the Cloak of Levitation that he has there. It's Doctor Strange's Cloak of Levitation, which acts more like, very similar to Aladdin's magic carpet in that episode. It just kind of have a mind of its own. It's being helpful where it can be helpful. And it just found itself attracted to Spider-Man. So that's why he has this particular cloak. Let's turn it around so that you can see it from the back. There's not a whole lot of detail that you can see, particularly because it's just this really kind of dark flat red. And although you can see some of the more ornate design inside of the cape, it doesn't necessarily stand out all that much when you're just kind of looking at it from a little bit of a distance, because it just sort of blends in with that cape. And the only really detail that we can see that's in a different color comes right over there at the collar, and that's when we can see things a little bit more clearly. Now this cloak just sort of drapes over him. There's no pegs to go inside Spider-Man. It's just literally, it's just fitted for him. Just kind of put it on and then bam, there you go. Everything is all good. All right, so that's the cloak. I do like how, you know, it looks like it's waving and everything. It has a bit of a motion to it, the way that they molded it. I do like that. It's very squishy, so it's not stiff. But, you know, if you were going to pose Spider-Man with that cloak, you would have a limit on what kind of poses that you can get, at least without some type of a flight stand, because his limbs would get in the way and you wouldn't be able to move him all that well inside of the cloak. But I would want to keep him with the cloak because that's what makes the Spider-Man particularly unique in his own way. Now, by default, he comes with the unmasked Peter Parker head, but inside of the packaging, you do get the regular masked Spider-Man head, which is what I prefer, honestly. I don't know, the Peter Parker head just doesn't quite look right to me. It looks a little big to me. I don't think that is really a problem. I guess I just kind of prefer the Spider-Man head. And then he also comes with a couple pair of interchangeable hands. He's got 2 web shooting hands, one for the left, one for the right. And then you also have 2 fisted hands, which I decided to put on him. So let me just take off the Peter Parker head. So yeah, I just kind of like that Spider-Man mask face on there more. But there you go. As usual, you know, decent paint on them, you know, pretty good. Spider symbol in the front looks good. Spider symbol in the back looks good. Some of the differences on this particular Spider-Man is there's a little bit of darker paint in certain key areas. And I think that's to signify either like blood or dirt, grit, something like that. You can kind of see it in the front. You can see it down on his boots. You can see a little bit of it on the back of his forearm. So he just looks a little bit dirty. You know, that's the way it's supposed to be. I love how far you can look up with Spider-Man's head, because he's Spider-Man, you know, he's got to be really flexible and stuff. Look down all the way so that the chin touches the chest. That's as far down as you can go. In fact, let's put the cape on him just so you can see what he will look like with the mask in the cape. The cloak, sorry, not the cape, the cloak. All right, cool. So we got that done and out of the way. Other articulation for Spider-Man, pretty much almost anything that you can imagine for a figure in this price range you can do. And he kind of has to because he's Spider-Man, you know. You got to be able to get him in some weird, contorted, really outrageous positions, you know, with the pivot on the ankle, being able to move the arms every which way, spread the legs out pretty far, double jointed knees, getting him all the way back to the point where you can almost do a split. You know, it's just, he's Spider-Man. So there's a whole lot that you should be able to do with him, and you can, you know. This is definitely something that you would use to test out your posing ability for figures, because with Spider-Man, you can just let your imagination go completely wild. You know, it's pretty cool. And I think that this is a good figure. Now, there's a lot of different Spider-Man action figures out there, particularly in the Marvel Legends line. Different suits, different people donning the suit. So there's definitely not a shortage out there. As far as uniqueness goes, if it weren't for the Cloak of Levitation, this particular Spider-Man, in my opinion, wouldn't be a must-have. There's nothing really all that special about him. He's very basic Spider-Man, just with a little bit of wear on his uniform in places that are kind of unnoticeable unless you're kind of looking for him and it kind of catches your eye. But because this is a part of the What If line and you kind of just want to keep that theme going, you know, honestly, you can put this cloak on, you know, different figures and kind of make up your own little scenario if you wanted to. But, you know, if you're going to create a What If line of figures, I think Spider-Man is a good one to include. But just know that if you're not looking to build that Build-A-Figure and you're just looking for a Spider-Man figure, you can probably do better with another Spider-Man figure. You know, articulation is going to pretty much be the same, but maybe you can get a little bit more unique style out of it than just the traditional red and blue basic Spider-Man. All right, so yeah, that is it, you guys. I still have a few more Marvel Legends What If figures to review before we get to the Watcher Build-A-Figures, so stay tuned for that. That's going to be really exciting, but for now, I'm going to jump into the next review. So thank you so much for watching. Till next time, I'm Jeremy. Talk to you later.